Thursday Night Football back on Fox. The first 2 games were on NFL Network, which he was doing it for. And what a season it was on Fox last year. It was amazing. Joe Buck calling in, I assume, from Lambeau Field. How are you, Joe?
Hi, Rich.
You sound like you didn't get the mono from Darnold, did you, Joe? You sound under the weather.
No, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm ready to go. Thursday night on Fox. Eagles, Packers.
Now you sound like the guy on SportsCenter. Coming up on SportsCenter.
Next on SportsCenter. It's like the weirdest tones. Coming up next.
Oh man, they years ago because they
ESPN.
Years ago, Joe, because I guess somebody focus grouped it, they decided the Sunday night sports centers needed better teases to break. They needed to have questions asked to keep you teased throughout the commercial break. So they took that because all the sports center guys and ladies, we used to write the teases going to break, and they didn't like the way we were doing it. So they had that voiceover guy do it. And so the one time that they couldn't get him to do it, I did them all in that guy's voice.
Good.
Oh, I felt so good about myself, Joe.
Boy, all you ex-SportsCenter guys just have to let the past go. Will you? give the rest of the world a break.
What do you mean?
Thank you, Joe.
What do you mean, Joe? What do you mean?
God.
What do you mean?
Ugh.
Seriously.
Just let it go. It's like forever ago.
Well, I mean, you and I.
You're the cat. You're the man. You're the man at NFL Network. I get it. You had a good run.
I did.
The Olbermann, Dan Patrick thing, we saw it. We lived it. We were there.
And so you don't like strolling down memory lane, Joe? You don't?
It just seems to happen a lot. There's a lot of strolls.
Well, you know what? It's interesting, Joe. You did your first World Series the same year I did my first SportsCenter, 1996.
Right. That's right. So I don't walk around or put up on social. The Yankees are champions of baseball. Hashtag 96.
Are you on social media? I don't see you very much out there these days.
No, I don't really frequent that whole neighborhood too often anymore.
You know what?
I just don't see the point. If you're going to be funny, and if you're going to try to be funny, which is even worse than theoretically being funny, when people say he's trying to be funny,
right?
Then, you're just going to wade into waters that get you in trouble, and it's just not worth the fallout and then having to answer for it for the rest of the time.
You know who is on social media is Troy. And,
I know.
Oh, man.
And
Joe.
He'll send stuff out, and then I'm like, what? Why? Well, what's the upside?
Well, because somebody on The Athletic in Kansas City was talking about how Mahomes already has a ton of yards and how they're, what do we got here, 36% of Troy Aikman's career touchdowns in about 8% of the games. And he wrote, ICYMI, in case you missed it, talk to me when he has 33% of my Super Bowl titles.
Right, which is funny. But in this world, nobody takes it that way. Then it becomes Troy against Patrick Mahomes, which is not at all what Troy's saying. He's saying it about the person who posted it, and it's a different game. They didn't ask Troy Aikman to run around and throw the ball 40 times a game, 45 times a game, 50 times a game. He had a great line. He had a Hall of Fame best ever running back in Emmitt Smith, and they went about winning games and titles a different way. So it's not a comparison. So that, I think, gets under Troy's skin because I know he believes that if they needed him to throw the ball like, theoretically Kansas City needs and wants for good reason, Patrick Mahomes to throw the ball like he does and as frequently as he does, he could have done it. But that's not, so he gets that criticism a lot, and I think it ticks him off. But again, why?
I got it. But here's the thing. Obviously I know, and pretty much anybody who knows football knows, if Mahomes had a guy who was going to break Walter Payton's record behind him, he would throw a lot less and they would run a lot more. All that said, I do love Red Ass Troy on Twitter. I get a big kick out of it. I love it.
Part of me, I do like it when he shows that side because he has it, and he has a really funny side too. And every once in a while, we'll get there on a broadcast, and I like seeing that side of Troy come out more. So as much as I say why bother, then you have to answer for it. I run screaming into the hallway worrying about it. He can defend himself and handle himself, and so if he felt that way, then good for him.
Well, and plus, I think, Joe, we've known each other a long time. I feel I could say it. I feel like you're in a mood right now. I feel like you're kind of in a mood with calling into the show. Yeah.
Why? Because I said you got to let the SportsCenter thing go.
Yeah.
Don't no. No, shut up. No, I am just giving you trouble. You give trouble all day. You got to be able to accept some trouble. I try to accept trouble every time I open my mouth.
Do you like the nickname Danny Dimes? What do you think of
No, I'm with you on that. Bad mood, good mood.
It stinks.
I don't know. It's just
like, for instance, there's no way on planet Earth, Joe, when you've got Thursday night football coming up in a couple weeks, Giants and Patriots, and you have obviously a history of calling that game with big moments. Last thing you're going to do is call him Danny Dimes, right? Like over a very frozen over worn place. Would you do something like that, right? Correct?
Yeah, I would not. I would not wade into the Danny Dimes has brought the Giants back. Unbelievable throw by Danny Dimes.
It's a great call.
By the way, I love it.
It's a great call.
Yeah, no, but Danny Dimes ruins it. Despite no matter if you've met the moment or not, Joe. You know what I mean? Danny Dimes just doesn't.
I just wouldn't do it. I don't know that I don't do that a lot. I'm trying to think of what's Aaron Rodgers, A-Rog.
No,
I'm not doing that either.
Yeah, no, the A-Rod, obviously. I think that's what he is actually called, but that just doesn't work.
A-Rod. So you got the D and the G in there.
That's
somehow.
a tough one. But you're a professional. Joe Buck here on the Rich Eisen Show. Are you at Lambeau Field literally right now, or no?
No, I'm not. I'm about to get out of Dodge here in St. Louis and get to Lambeau Field. So we just got off our conference call with the Eagles, and I jumped off actually the Carson Wentz portion of our conference call because these times keep shifting as teams try to work in on this short week, their meetings, their practices, their flight, and so we've got kind of that's the one downside to this. There's a lot less face-to-face. It's a lot more over the phone.
Right.
But at least in the case of these two teams, as opposed to last week, we see the Eagles a ton. We know, obviously, Aaron and the Packers a ton. So we'll get as much info on the phone as we would being in person. But when it's Gardner Minshew and guys like that, it's just a little tougher because they don't know us.
So what did you glean from the Philly phone call? Do we have Deshaun Jackson, you think, tomorrow night, or Alshon Jeffrey? What did you glean from all of this, Joseph?
I think they're confident that Alshon's going to play, not so much for Deshaun Jackson. They're not worried about how much Carson Wentz has been hit. To this point, Carson at the beginning of the call said that he feels good despite all that in a short week going in physically. And I just sensed from talking to Doug Peterson and Jim Schwartz that they're not thinking the sky is falling at 1-2, even though they have to go on the road and play the Packers. I think they legitimately believe they're 2 plays away from being 3-0, and I'm sure a lot of teams can say that, but that's kind of the way the first 3 weeks have gone for them, and I think they'll go. I actually think they'll go in and play really well in Green Bay against a really good defense. I can't tell you how many Packer games I've done, but whether it's been Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers, you always go in thinking offense, and you go into this one thinking about a team that's leading in takeaways and has pressure from the outside and racking up sacks. It's just a different feel.
Well, and then the subject about Green Bay, have you conference called with them yet, or are you going to see them?
No, that's coming. That's top of the hour. We'll have Mr. LaFleur, and then I believe 3 o'clock we've got A-Rog and Mike Pettin.
Well, the whole business is, the offense, Joe. I mean, that's all we hear about is the offense and the installation of the offense, and then the freedom that Rodgers has in the offense, and what percentage of the offense have we seen work, and the percentage of offense that we need to see work, and all of that good stuff. And Rodgers has flat out said the offense needs to step it up, Joe. So I assume that's going to be part of the conversation you have with Troy and those guys for Thursday night.
Yeah, no, I think for good reason. I mean, he's been one of the most dynamic players in the game, and when you have a new head coach and a young guy that comes in with a new system, and then they're putting that in, it becomes, especially with a veteran quarterback like Aaron, who's got, he's as smart as you know him as well as I do. He's as smart a guy as you'll find in really in any walk of life, not just in professional sports, but he's an opinionated guy. He likes things his way, and now you've got, it's only human nature to see how that whole tug of war and that relationship develops in the public eye. And so I'm excited to talk to Aaron and Matt about how that's all gone to this point. But I think he's right. The offense has looked good for short snippets of time, but he's not used to being middle of the pack in quarterback rating. He's not used to being middle of the pack in offensive numbers. He's not running like he was before. Just read a quote where he said, I'm trying to make first downs and touchdowns, throwing it, not running with it. And so it's a different looking Packer offense. And the best news for them is they're 3-0. They've kind of ridden their defense in that fast start against the Vikings. And then we'll see where the offense goes from here. But, that's why it's an interesting game to me on Thursday night, and a tough one to pick. If you were inclined to do so.
If you are inclined to do so, well, I just know Packers fans are hoping to see the Rodgers in this offense, the Rodgers that they drafted 3 years after I left SportsCenter after a 7-year stay there. Joe,
you're gonna. Why am I gonna hear about this? Like you're gonna text me? Why are you so mad about?
No,
I'm just giving you trouble.
No, it's
really not you. It's not you.
What do you mean it's not me? It's
not you. It's me.
It's
not you.
It's me. It's been a long time since I heard that, Joe. Maybe the last time I heard that was about 3 years before I joined SportsCenter in 1996 for my 7-year stay. It's not me. It's not you. It's me.
It's me. I just think we need time apart, and I think I want a little more freedom. And again, there's no reflection.
No. I've told you this, Joe, and I don't know if it's been a while, but I will never forget sitting there in my SportsCenter cubicle in 1996. I'm a diehard Yankee fan, and I always dreamed about going to a World Series and for the Yankees, and there it was, and I couldn't go because I was so fortunate to be on SportsCenter.
Right.
And you were calling the game and showing off all the Fox celebrities that were in at the time Fox television shows.
All the animated ones.
No.
The beauty when Fox got it is we have so many animated stars that they didn't have to give tickets to people.
No, this was actually back in the day, Joe, where you said there's Kim Fields, who was starring on a series in Fox at that time. I'm like, so Tootie.
Really?
Is that, yes.
From
well, back in the day, Facts of Life. I don't know what she was on. Living Single, was she on at that time? I don't know. But all I know, I was just like, wow, so Tootie is at this game I wanted to go to, but I can't. And I just remember that you brought that.
You were doing your dream. You were doing SportsCenter.
I was, which is, why I was so excited to be there for 7 years from 1996 to 2003.
Right. And then the NFL came calling 2003.
That's right.
And then now from 2004 forward
to present.
And I remind you, it's 2019.
Yeah.
You've been at NFL Network and doing such a great job, but it's these wistful memories of time spent in Bristol that seem to dominate your thoughts.
No, I wouldn't say dominate. I just
they pepper into your thoughts quite a bit. And Olbermann, I mean, he's reliving the days, and Dan, and
I know.
All I heard you guys do back then was complain about things, and now it's Shangri-La back.
Joe, all of us can't, just be with one network our whole career. You know what I'm saying? We all. Oh, do you have the last time I was told this?
Yeah.
Go ahead, play that for.
Great. What happened? Something must have happened.
It's not you. It's me.
There it was. There you have it.
You're giving me the "it's not you, it's me" routine?
That was it.
I invented "it's not you, it's me."
There you go, Joe.
Nobody.
There you go, Joe. That was the last time.
You know, I'm just giving you trouble, for God's sake.
I know that, Joe. You and I have.
But I feel like you're like legitimately wounded.
Chris, tell him how I've been looking this entire time.
No, he's good. He's good, Joe.
I'm good.
Yeah, he's good.
All right. I can trust Chris.
He has tissues by the desk.
Stop
he's
it.
turning
Stop
away
it.
to weep. Yeah.
Those are tissues left over from Undeniable on DirecTV.
Actually, no, they're from Beg, Borrow, and Deal Season 2 on ESPN2 that I did, Joe, back in 2002, I think. That's what it's from.
Well, I remember that fondly. Those were some of your best work.
Thank you, sir. Take care, Joe. Yeah. You be well, sir.
Is that it? Are we hanging up mad?
I think so.
Don't hang up mad.
No, we're not. We're not. I don't. No.
That's the one thing they always tell you.
Yes.
When you get married, don't go to bed mad.
No, I know, Joe. Please, I know when I'm a happy guy and happy with you. And
have you ever gone to bed mad at Susie?
Joe,
and is it the first thing you think about when you wake up the next day?
Of course, because I am a sensitive individual, and you know that. Have you ever gone to bed mad at Michelle, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I think I did last night, if memory serves.
And you were able to soothe
and I woke up today like, oh, God, now I got to go through the whole, hey, let's revisit last night.
That's right. But at least you were able to soothe yourself in a nice chat with Carson Wentz in advance of tomorrow night's game, Joe.
Correct.
That's what
back to Thursday Night Football.
That's what I always do is just, if there's something going on in my life, just seek out Matt LaFleur and talk about the offense, and it all goes away.
I can't wait.
Take care of yourself, Joseph.
All right,
that's a positive closure with Joe Buck, everybody. Positive closure.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.